Hello and welcome. Today's exciting episode is a sewing plans video for the month of August. And the theme for this month is olive and khaki.
It's perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Perfect jacket.
Now, before we get to this month's plans, I just have to show you what I'm working on at this exact moment. It's a new birder pattern and it's super easy. It's dolman sleeves. So basically you cut out a front left side, a front right side, and a back, and then you sew them together. I'm also doing a lining, of course. But first, I'm doing a ridiculous amount of beading. So that's where I'm at the moment. But I got to this pattern because Anne-Marie from Anne-Marie's workshop is doing a sewing challenge this month, Sew Reversible 2023, and you can go to her channel or her Instagram to see what all the details are and how you win the prizes. But yeah, I thought I would do a dress, that vintage dress, but then I came across this pattern and I didn't actually have it. I went and bought it, and I was just like, I could make a quilt, one of those quilt jackets, and use up all my scraps, sort of make patchwork. So I got out all my scraps and I decided on colours, and because obviously it's a big old mess, I have to sort them into colours. And yeah, I decided to sort of go with really saturated colours. So I've got sort of foresty tones, and then I've got sort of really dark blue and orange and hot pink tones. Absolutely gorgeous, but yeah, it took me a while to get there. So this is the foresty black ones. It's sort of florals with a black base. It was inspired by the leftovers of that Liberty of London print with the William Morris flowers on there. It just went really well with some green ones that I've got and some black bases that have flowers on them. And then the other one is the blues, purples. That one there with the, I don't know, it kind of reminds me of a stained glass. It's got really vibrant, super soaked colours. So that's going to be the Las Vegas side, and the other one's going to be the sort of magical forest side. So yeah, I thought I was really happy with those two. But then, yeah, I sort of sorted them all out and had this side is one side and this bag of patches is another side. And I took them over to my sewing machine. I was like, actually, making patchwork fabric out of patches or scraps actually takes a really long time, and it's actually quite a simple pattern. So I could just, make it out of tweed and then spend all that time beading instead of sewing patches together, because recently the last 3 videos were 3 dressmaking videos, so I've used my sewing machine quite enough. And because of the gorgeous super soaked colours I was using, I was like, oh, I could use that rainbow tweed. And so I got this tweed out and I cut out my base, my structural layer, and then I cut out this. It took a little bit of Tetris and tossing and turning, because it's basically just front left, front right, and full back piece. So it took me a while to fold it the correct way so that I could actually get all the pieces out. And so I finally cut them out, and then I pinned the layers together. And then instead of stitching them together before I sewed the garment, I decided that I would bead it instead. So yeah, that's what I've been doing. It's such a beautiful tweed. And I did wonder about, for the longest time I was going to use green beads on this, and it's olive and khaki month, and the green beads are sort of, yeah, they've got a touch of brown in them. So I thought it would be good. But then when I went to I actually got the green beads out, but then I saw this bag of, jar of white beads and sequins that I actually took off another project. I ended up undoing it and putting all the beads and sequins in a bag to use them again. And yeah, they've been there for years. So I was like, oh, I could use all these instead. So yeah, I'm doing that. And it's so much fun. I haven't done, a lot of beading in quite some time. And this is me just showing you that, yes, what you're assuming about beading is correct. You have to have a structural layer or it just won't work. I'm using lightweight beads, so I've got 2 bits of thread doubled over, so it's 4 bits of thread. I'm using poly thread, not cotton, because poly is stronger. And then you just go through all the layers, go through the bead, go back down through all the layers, and that's securing it once. And then you do the same thing again to secure it twice. And then I just go and do that for every single bead. I certainly don't recommend that beginners work on expensive fabric, but next time you're at the fabric store, go, or a hobby store, go over to the jewellery section, buy a small bag of beads for a couple of dollars, and you can just sew them around the neckline of your denim jacket or, a vintage cardigan, something like that. Anyone can do beading. The more expensive and the more complicated ones, obviously you do need to practice and build up to something like that. But yeah, anyone can bead. It's awesome fun and I highly recommend it. I love beading. If you notice the stacked beading, I'll put a link to the making of the beading trim on this velvet jacket and you can go and see that. And there's a step-by-step. I show you how to do that, but it is kind of advanced. Basically, if you look at some beading and you know how it was done, then you probably have a high enough skill level to attempt it. That's my opinion anyway. That is what I am working on at the moment. It is bringing me so much joy. And this pattern, obviously I haven't actually made the jacket yet, but it seems like a really cool pattern. So I will show you that video. But for the rest of the month you will be seeing everything I made in July video. There are some jackets there that I haven't actually finished yet. But yeah, I'll finish them and then I'll do the video. Shh, don't tell anyone. And then this month is olive and khaki. I actually bought ages ago now, last year. Last year. I bought some rayons. I saw some rayons on sale. I think this one's supposed to be a leopard print or some kind of animal print. There's also this gorgeous khaki one with cream dots on it. And the one on the right there has tiny little flowers. That's a half-finished dress. Speaking of half-finished dresses, this one here is actually a top, but the same pattern, Simplicity pattern, also has a dress. She looks adorable in that dress. So I want to finish this one and then I'll make a step-by-step video where I make the dress because it's kind of a deceptively simple one, but if you sew the pieces together in the wrong order, you get into trouble. There will also be a fabric haul. I went on a teensy bit of a buying spree the past few months, just in case you hadn't noticed. But these ones here are all green and red, and they just remind me so much of that film, Amelie. So that top red one is actually a wool. So I thought I might make that into a jacket. Speaking of this goldy olive coloured faux leather, I'm determined to make that into a Desperately Seeking Susan jacket. And then I have all these tweeds and there's a couple of sequins too. This one here is a Linton tweed and I bought it because it reminded me of a Chanel tweed that I have because I'm just that so into tweeds. It's ridiculous. It's kind of pathetic, but I think it's cool. And then the next one is another Linton tweed. This is an unusual, it's sort of a plaid in olives, khakis and browns. This was the last piece, so it's a remnant and it's actually 3 meters, so there's 3.3 yards. And when it's a remnant, you have to buy the whole thing. You can't just buy one bit because normally I just buy 1 yard. So I've got enough to make a jacket like this plus one of my regular Chanel style jackets. So I think that's what I'll do. I could make 3 Chanel style jackets just because my jackets are so cropped. But I think I'll just make 2. And then there's this one. It's actually sequin, but the pattern on there is tweed, like it's sort of a check tweed pattern. It is so meta. I love it so much. So I'm not sure that I will make that one up. I've also got this one. It's the French sequins that with the hole at one top rather than in the middle. So you can rub your hand against it and it goes up and down. Well, obviously I don't want people touching me or my clothes, but yeah, it's just a really cool effect. So I have that one in olive and it's gorgeous. It looks so beautiful in sunlight. This is a traditional tweed, so more like a tartan. And one side of my family is Scottish, and believe it or not, this is basically the only tartan I own. tartanish thing. So I was thinking maybe Vivienne Westwood style jacket for that one. This one is technically a knit. But yeah, so to stabilize it, you have to block interface it or sew it to a base fabric, then cut out your pieces and then make the jacket. So I thought that's an interesting step to show. So I might do that one. Plus, it's just so textural and the colors are just super soaked. I love it so much. It's such an interesting thing to work with. And then the next we have another traditional tweed from Linton. And this one on the left is my orange jacket with like thousands of beads on there. So I thought I'd do the same with this. Once I made the jacket, I'll sew one tiny glass bead in each of the little squares. I thought that might be interesting for that one. Take forever, but it would just look gorgeous. And this, I love this tweed so much. It's another special Linton one. So last month you saw the one on the left in that blue colorway, and this one is khaki olive tones, but also it's got flamingo pink in there. It is so ridiculous and unusual, and I love it so much. I love the ugly ones. Like the more difficult a tweed is to work with, the more challenging it is, the more I love it. Because I mean, what do you do with something like this? And even like what sort of light coloured silk lining do you use for it? It's just so awesome. And this is more of a traditional Chanel style tweed. It's olive and black, and there was an art collection that Chanel did that used a tweed very much like that one. This one is really ragtag. I love all the flags in it. Those little bits that stick out are called flags. And yeah, I love it. It's like, I don't know, it's gone through a shredder or something. It's so adorable. I would love to wear it. As soon as I make that, it's going to become one of my everyday jackets. I love it so much. And also the shirt dress that I recently made from that top. Absolutely love that. So I thought I'd make another one in some other colour, and maybe with the shorter sleeves, because that one, I mean, I love them. I absolutely love them. But I tend to have a lot of sleeveless dresses that I can then wear as jumper dresses all year round. Also, there's going to be a video on I already did a video on the keyhole dress last, like a couple of videos ago. That was this one here, and that was absolutely gorgeous. But I didn't do the layer cake dress. So I'm going to do a video where I go step by step through how to make a layer cake dress. And I'm also going to get out some other layer cake dresses that you haven't seen yet. And I'll show you those. And just, yeah, because a lot of people are asking exactly how much of each fabric do I use. But I mean, as you can tell, I literally just use leftovers to make my layer cake dresses. But anyway, yeah, so there'll be a layer cake video. And then the rest are kind of just, I'm planning jacket videos. I think there'll be a couple of 1 or 2 information videos as well. These are patterns that are jacket patterns that I'm planning on using this month, but I've already finally used up like 5, I think, or 6 different jacket patterns, and I'm going to do a review. I think every 5 or 6 new patterns that I use for jackets, I'll make a pattern review, because I just get constantly asked, do you think this one is good for this or this one is good for that? So I might do that. And also there'll be a video of the jacket that I'm making at the moment. I haven't actually taken much footage of it. I was so stressed. I just want to do some beading. So it's simple. It just, each step takes, like the beading takes such a long time. So yeah, I'm not sure if I'll do a video. I'll definitely show you the finished product because it's absolutely gorgeous and I'm really, really enjoying doing it. But there will be step-by-step videos for each of the other new patterns that I use. I think I'll do a step-by-step for this birder one when I make the reversible jacket. And yeah, for the beaded one, I'll just probably show you the finished product because, yeah, I forgot to tape the first few steps. And well, not in much detail anyway. I'm kind of trying to use up the entire jar of these sequins and beads, so we'll see how that goes. And after that, I think I might put some colour in there, maybe orange or maybe the green after all. So yeah, but apart from that, I'll be working on the other jackets as well and finishing some UFOs and sort of, yeah, having one of those catch-up months, because in July, I just felt like I was never quite on top of anything. So hopefully this month will be a little bit quieter. I'll get more jackets done. Anyway, those are my plans for this month. Let's see how I go. Thank you very much for watching. And yeah, what are your plans for the month? Are you having a rush month where you try and get everything done, or are you just going to chill? I kind of recommend chilling because last month was way too stressful for me. Anyway, thanks again for watching. Happy sewing.